One of the major reasons jury trials can be considered outdated is the complexity of modern law. In the Middle Ages, where these trials were formed, these cases were straightforward. However, today's cases can involve technical evidence such as DNA analysis, financial fraud, and cybercrime, to name a few. Having jurors understand complex financial records, expert scientific testimonies, and digital or technological evidence is a hard process and can easily be misinterpreted. This can then lead to incorrect verdicts through wrongful convictions or wrongful acquittals. A clear example of this problem was the Jubilee Line corruption trial in 2005, which was a complex fraud case involving allegations of bribery during the extension of the line. The trial lasted over 21 months, in which jurors struggled to cope with the technical evidence and eventually collapsed, wasting millions of pounds. This case demonstrates how some trials have become too complex for the jurors to manage effectively. Jurors are vulnerable to bias, prejudice, and emotional influence, which can severely affect the fairness of a trial. Various studies identify that jurors can be swayed through unconscious bias, which could be related to race, gender, or social background, and can drastically alter the judgment. Jurors are not trained to separate emotion from evidence, and this is often exploited by lawyers and media coverage, which affects the jurors' decisions. This can be shown in R v West and R v Taylor and Taylor. The extensive media coverage in the trial of Rosemary West influenced the jurors on whether they could put aside their preconceived notions and solely focus on the evidence being presented to them within the courtroom. Similarly, in R v Taylor and Taylor, media reporting during the trial created serious prejudice and therefore they were unable to conduct a fair trial. This demonstrates that juries are not protected from external pressures and can be influenced by misinformation, leading to inaccurate verdicts. Life-altering decisions should not be left in the hands of jurors who can be emotionally swayed and untrained. Instead, judges who are trained to focus solely on the facts and legal principles should make these decisions. Finally, juries are costly, slow, and inefficient, which strains the legal system. The process of selecting a jury can take weeks, and trials drag on due to the need to explain all the details towards a jury. This is not only costs millions in complex cases, but also causes backlogs in court scheduling, meaning there is no longer a wait time for justice. Many defendants are pressured into signing plea deals to avoid the long and expensive process of a jury trial. The government has also identified this issue with the attempt to pass the Fraud Without Trials Bill 2007, which aimed to allow judges only trials to evade the lengthy time frame and hefty financial costs. Although the bill was unsuccessful, it demonstrated concerns that jury trials are unsuitable for these types of cases. Continuing with this theme, Lord Justice Ald's review of the Criminal Courts of England and Wales 2001 recommended that judge-led trials could massively improve efficiency and help maintain fairness for complex cases. The review emphasised how jury trials strain court resources and whether jurors could effectively navigate complicated evidence. In today's modern legal system, it does not make sense to continue to operate a method that drains resources, time, and is inefficient. Nevertheless, it is important to consider the importance of jury trials to an extent, with them acting as a safeguard against concentrated power, allowing the average person to contribute to decisions within the justice system and prevent the concentrated power of the judges. It could also be argued that public trust is ensured through the juries, and removing this would exclude ordinary citizens. However, although these are important, they do not come near to the needs required by the modern legal system.